Good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Tompkins. I'm the co-founder of Rosewood-Solutions, and I'm also the developer of the Cocobolo-Solution, which is our flagship web-based project management system. First of all, I want to thank the Chicago Urban League for not only hosting this webinar, but for also getting the word out to everyone about the webinar. And special thanks to Selena Sizemore, who's the program director of the Next Construction program here at the Chicago Urban League. She's worked with us on this project, and I just wanted to express our gratitude for all the support she's given us over the years. Then I also want to thank everyone who's taken time out of their schedule to attend this webinar, because like this slide says, I know you don't have time to waste. You have projects to manage, you have customers to take care of, problems to solve, and it really means a lot that you've taken time out of your schedule to take a look at what we have. So with that, I'm going to make sure I don't waste your time. We're going to spend about 25 minutes talking about the Cocobolo-Solution, take 20 minutes to look at some videos that highlight the key functionality of the system. Then after that, we're going to open up for any questions that you may have. So with that, I think the best place to start is really at the beginning. The Cocobolo-Solution actually started out as a production management system. My background is actually in manufacturing and production, and some of our responsibilities in that industry was to keep track of all my labor, quality, inventory management, and do my production planning. And I've always worked for smaller companies, so probably like some of you, I managed my department with spreadsheets, with formulas all over the place, emails, Word documents, PDFs, things of that nature. But as we began to experience some growth, those tools didn't really work out so well for me. To kind of give you an example of the type of growth I'm talking about, I went from having 10 direct reports to having right under 100 direct reports. I went from managing 3 production lines simultaneously to managing 16 production lines simultaneously. I went from managing virtually no inventory to managing the inventory of about 700 SKUs. So as you can imagine, my day was hectic, and managing my department with spreadsheets just wasn't working as we started to experience this growth. So I wanted to find a system that could help me manage my department better. So I did my research, and the criteria was pretty simple. I wanted to find something that was cost effective, that my company could afford, but also address the needs that I have as a manager. And what I found out was that most of the systems that were developed for corporations that were large, that had large infrastructures. I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands and even in some cases millions of dollars for the installation. And that was just something that was just not feasible for the company that I was working for to purchase. And so I took it upon myself to design something. And after implementing the system that I designed, we were able to see a 12% increase in our efficiency and productivity. We were able to reduce our production scrap by 45%. Our quality went up. Our on-time shipping went up. And what that amounted to was about a $10,000 per month savings in my department alone. And equally as important to me, I was able to reduce my 10 to 12 hour days down to a manageable 8 to 9 hour day. And so my wife, who's in construction, saw the change, and she said, wow, that system that you've been working on, as she said, that thing you've been working on must really be working. I said, yeah, it's working out pretty good. She said, well, if you could design something like that for the construction industry, I think you could sell it. And the rest, as we say, is history. Now, before I go too much further into talking about the Cocobolo-Solution, one of the things that I wanted to point out is that the Cocobolo-Solution is designed from the point of view of a project manager. And although this presentation is geared toward the construction industry, our system is applicable in any industry that requires project management. So I just want you to keep that in mind throughout the presentation. Now, one of the things that always comes up when I talk to companies about the Cocobolo-Solution is, what is a Cocobolo-Solution? How is it different than all the other systems that are out there on the market, and what is it going to do for my company? And I think the best way to define what the Cocobolo-Solution is to first of all clearly define what the Cocobolo-Solution is not. Now, the Cocobolo-Solution is not an accounting system. It does have accounting functionality, but that wasn't the primary motivating factor in designing and developing the system. It's not an estimating system. The Cocobolo-Solution does use your budget information, your production rates, and your unit costs to do calculations within the system. But again, that wasn't the primary motivating factor in designing the Cocobolo-Solution. And lastly, it's not a scheduling system. Again, the system has scheduling capability, but the whole design of the Cocobolo-Solution was not to be a Gantt chart generator. Now, I know that may sound strange, saying that our project management system is not accounting, it's not estimating, and it's not scheduling, because the reality is that most systems that are out there on the market that have been marketed as project management systems are really just beefed up accounting systems with some level of estimating and scheduling built into it. But that's just not what the Cocobolo-Solution is. Now, I want to be clear, in no way are we saying or even implying that accounting and estimating and scheduling are not important. As a matter of fact, they are fundamental, they are core to the success that you're going to have on your project. But what we're really saying is that there is more to project management than just accounting and scheduling and estimating. Project management is managing your RFIs, your submittals, your change orders, your contracts. If you're self-performing work, it's managing your labor and your materials that are on the site. Project management is also coordinating correspondence between all the entities that have a stake in the project. The owner, the architect, the general contractor, the specialty contractors, the suppliers, all need to be on the same page to keep the project moving forward. And just like the success of your project depends on your accounting, your scheduling, and your estimating, it's also dependent on how quickly and accurately you're able to communicate with all the stakeholders on the project. So, in essence, the Cocobolo-Solution is a business management system. We like to think of it as like the assistant to the project manager. And what it does, it allows a project manager to leverage their time, and as a result, your company can operate more efficiently, reduce the operational costs, and give you the ability to do more tasks or take on more work with the team that you already have. Now, we understand that the Cocobolo-Solution is really, it's not for everyone, and that's okay. But companies that are going to see the most benefit in using the Cocobolo-Solution are companies whose project manager's typical day looks like this. Now, if you're a project manager or have project managers on your team that were anything like me, this is what a typical day looked like. And the irony of all this is that my company had an accounting system, we had an estimating department, and we had scheduling software, yet still this is what my typical day looked like. And this is clear evidence to me that although accounting, estimating, and scheduling were very important, the systems and tools that we had in place just didn't address the specific issues that I was having as a project manager. So before I went down the road in developing the system for project managers in the construction industry, I wanted to validate that they were having the same problem that I was having. So we interviewed a number of project managers in the construction industry, and indeed, we found out that project managers were having the same issues that I was having. And we also found out that even though we were in different industries, the roles and responsibilities that we had were virtually the same. And that was simply this: to keep the project on time and within budget. And I'm pretty sure most of you on the call said that with me. Coupled with that, the problems that we were having were virtually the same. And here's a problem that I was having. I was the bottleneck in the whole process. There was a ton of data entry that was required on my part, and it's not like I could pass that on to someone else because it required my expertise. a direct result of me being the primary person doing the data entry. All the documents that were generated based on that data entry made me the gatekeeper of those documents. And because I was a gatekeeper of those documents, I became the gatekeeper of all the correspondence surrounding those documents. And so when we interviewed project managers in the construction industry, here's what we found out. That virtually the same thing. The data entry was time consuming and error prone. There were multiple points of data entry. Duplicate information was being put into multiple spreadsheets and forms, and all those forms need to be kept up to date. And if any errors happen, it was just very time consuming to find those errors and correct them. Bottom line, too much time being spent doing data entry. When it came to document management, the documents were hard to find. Everyone on the team wasn't aware of new documents or the latest revision of those documents. It wasn't accessible to everyone on the team, and they really weren't organized in a way in which you could easily find them. So to be able to find all the documents that were specific to a change order or to a submittal or RFI or a contract. Communication bottlenecks were also a big problem. Whenever issues came up, the decisions to resolve those issues required input from multiple sources, and it was often difficult to coordinate everyone's schedule. So what happened? We sent out email after email, and if you were anything like me, it wasn't uncommon to have 100 emails on a daily basis concerning issues that came up. And basically, way too many emails to sort through and to organize what's going on in the project. And when it came to work that was being self-performed, managing your cost overruns was a big issue. And the reason why that was an issue because cost overruns really weren't visible until the end of that billing cycle. And I think we can all agree that finding out that you have cost overruns when you're doing your billing is too late. Directly related to that was the inability to determine the capacity of your team. I mean, yeah, we have Gantt charts with your milestones and your critical path in there, but do you really have a systematic way to determine if you can perform work profitable on a day-to-day basis? And then also the inability to build historical data so that you can provide accurate estimates for future work. Now, if any or all of these problems resonate with you, I can say with confidence that the Cocobolo-Solution is something that you can use to help solve your problems, because these are the specific problems that we solve. And this is how we do it. We're going to provide you with one point of data entry. Right off the bat, this is going to reduce the errors due to data entry. And when errors do come up, it's going to reduce the time to find and correct those errors. The information that you enter into the system flows through the system, and it's going to dynamically create your documents so that the project manager doesn't have to create those documents individually. We're also going to centralize all your documents and give you the ability to give users access to securely upload and download documents 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whenever they have the time to do it. Also, when new documents are uploaded to the system, everyone who has access to the system is going to receive an alert so that they're going to know that a new document has been uploaded to the system. And then we're going to be able to group those documents that you upload by change order, RFI, contract, so that you can centralize all the documents and very easily find all the documents that you need. Also going to centralize your communications. Instead of using emails, we use group forums. And whenever communications happen within the system, everyone who has access is going to receive an alert that a new communication has happened. So you're not going to have to sort through hundreds of emails. And what this is going to do is going to help speed up reconciliation so that you can keep the project moving forward. And then lastly, we take the production approach to construction. And in the production environment, we don't have the luxury of waiting till the end of the month to figure out if we're profitable. At the most, we're going to get a day to figure that out, but more often than not, we're dealing with hours and minutes to figure out if we're going to be profitable. So we just take that same approach, apply it to the construction industry, and what that's going to do is give the production or the project manager the ability to figure out if the work that they're performing is profitable on a daily basis. In addition to that, it's going to give the project manager historical data so they can use that information to generate accurate estimates in the future. Now let's talk a little bit about the design of the Cocobolo-Solution and the platform that we use to deliver the application. The Cocobolo-Solution was developed with Microsoft technologies, and it's a Silverlight 4 cloud-based application. Because it is a web-based application, there's no need to hire additional IT staff to use our system. There's nothing to download, there's nothing to install. All you really need is an internet connection and a username and password to use our system. And once you make the decision, you can be up, running, and using our application within 24 hours. The Cocobolo-Solution has 5 core modules: communication, project management, resource management, inventory management, and accounting. All of these modules can be used individually or in conjunction with some or all of the other modules in the application. Now, the platform that we use to deliver the Cocobolo-Solution is called the Azure platform. Azure was designed specifically to host cloud-based applications on Microsoft-owned data centers. Now, there are many advantages of using this platform, but one of the top advantages is that all data that's in the databases, all of the documents that you upload, and the application itself are replicated a minimum of 3 times. Not only is this going to ensure that you have backups of your critical business documents and information, but it's also going to prevent any system overloads that would otherwise occur if we deployed the Cocobolo-Solution to any type of other platform. The Cocobolo-Solution is also an MRP certified Azure compatible application. Now, I know that's a mouthful, but MRP stands for Microsoft Readiness Platform. And what this really means is that the Cocobolo-Solution has been vetted and certified compatible on the Azure platform. And because we went through this process, Microsoft will cover the service level agreements for any documents that are stored using our application, for your database connectivity using our application, and then also for the application performance itself. So yes, we are a small company, but because we went through this vetting process, we have the backing of one of the largest corporations in technology. Now, the next thing we're going to do is take a look at some videos that highlight some of the key functionality that we talked about earlier in the presentation. The first video is going to simply show you how to set up a project and build a budget for that project. The second video is going to show you how to create a change order and highlight some of the key functions that we talked about. Being able to have one point of data entry, centralizing communications, and then centralizing your documents. Then the next series of videos after that are going to be more geared toward companies that self-perform work, and again, we're going to highlight those things that we said were important. Being able to build historical data within the database so that you can then perhaps better information to do estimates in the future, and then also the ability to monitor your daily activities so that you can know on a daily basis if the work that you're self-performing is profitable. So now let's demonstrate how easy it is to set up a project in the Cocobolo-Solution. So from the home page, basically we're going to navigate to the main menu, and once we're there, we're going to select the Setup Project option, set up a new project. And the system is going to do its thing to navigate you to the correct page. And while it's getting there, one of the things I want to mention is that once we get here, you'll see that we have an Excel icon there. This is basically a template that you can use to upload all the information. So you simply fill out the workbook and put all the correct information in the right fields, save it to your desktop, and then just drag and drop it onto the drop zone on the website. And just like that, the information is uploaded to the website. So basically just go through and validate through each tab and ensure that the information is correct. In this case, we want to upload the companies we're going to do work with on this project. Click the upload button and those companies are uploaded to the system. Next, we want to have contacts for all those companies. So again, we click on the Contacts tab, we're going to click on the Upload button, and now the contacts for all the companies that we have uploaded is in the database. We want to also define the divisions that we're going to be performing work for in this project. So again, we click on the Upload button, and those divisions are uploaded to the system. Now what we've done is we create a framework to begin creating a project. So we're going to give it a project code. We're going to go through and select the architect, the general contractor that's going to be on the project, and the owner of the project. We're going to give it a description, and it looks like they're doing some work here at the Urban League. So we're going to use that as a demo. Give it a county where we're going to perform the work. You know, all the particular information: the address, city, state, zip. And if at any time you wanted to put some additional details that aren't covered in the fields that we have already here, you can put that detailed information here in this details box. We also have the ability to put in your bond percentage, your insurance percentage, and the percentages for your fee. These fields are optional, but in this case we want to put some information in there to demonstrate how the system uses that information. And that's it. That's all it took to create a project. So now we've defined a project. We want to upload the budget that we put into the spreadsheet. And again, it's just a matter of just clicking that upload button. Now we're going to go ahead and create some contracts, some subcontracts for this project. So very similar to creating the project, we're going to give the contractor code, we're going to give it a description. We're also going to determine who we're going to award this contract to, the division where this work is going to be performed, and then we're going to select the billing type. We click on the Save button, and that's it. So we're going to create 3 contracts for this project. The process is exactly the same for the other 2, so we're not going to go over that, but we're going to show how you actually build the scope of your contract. And so since we've already uploaded the budget, no sense entering that information in again. We're just going to select from the items that we have uploaded. And on the right, you see these are items that have been assigned to the project but don't have a corresponding subcontract associated with them. So we select the items that we want to be affiliated with this contract, and we click the Save button. And we've just created a budget for that contract. And if we navigate through each one of these items, you'll see that what's happened behind the scenes is that you have the ability to make adjustments to the budgeted amount, the projected amounts, and the awarded amounts. And if you look very carefully, you'll see that we already have projected profit calculated for us. And where that's coming from is from the insurance, bond, and the fee percentages that we put in at the very beginning of the creation of the project. So as you can see, we put the information into one place, and that information is propagated throughout the entire system. Now we're going to demonstrate how we actually create a change order and demonstrate those things that we talked about: one point of data entry, centralizing your communications, and centralizing your documents. So once we have confirmed the project and confirmed all the contracts, we have the ability to add change orders against those contracts or budget changes in those contracts. So very similar to creating a contract and project, we give it a title. We're going to give a reason for this change, and to select the date that we want this work to be completed, and click the Save button. We just created a change order, a proposed change order. Now we want to select the contracts that are going to be affected by this change order. Again, we're going to assume that all 3 contracts are going to be affected by this change order, and we're just going to demonstrate how to do one because the process is the same for all 3. We select the contract that's going to be affected, give it a description, click the Confirm button, and now we've just made that association that that contract is going to be affected by the change order. Now, what happened behind the scenes is that all the contacts that you had assigned to companies that are going to be affected by this change order are automatically given access to this change order. But at any time, you can either grant or deny access to this change order from this members tab. So now we're going to just demonstrate how we centralize our communications. We simply click on the communication button. We're going to give a title to this communication, and in this case, we're going to just basically tell the team that the change order came down the pipeline due to a drawing revision, and that we want everyone on the team to review the attached drawings and get us their estimates back as soon as possible. Once we're satisfied with that communication, we click the Save button. And once we do that, what's happening behind the scenes is that, again, everyone that has access to this change order has just received notification that Jason has initiated a conversation concerning proposed change order 1. Now we're going to demonstrate the centralizing of your documents. Very much the same way what you do a drag and drop for the spreadsheet. We drag and drop the documents that you want to upload to the system. So you select those documents, you drag them to the drop zone on the website, and if you want to take a look at those items, if they're viewable, before you upload them, you click on the view thumbnails and you can take a look at those items before you upload them. And once you're satisfied with those items, you simply click the upload button, and those items are uploaded to the system. Again, what happened behind the scenes is that everyone who has access to this proposed change order has received notification that I just uploaded 2 files. And when they log on to the system to view the files, they just simply click on the View Files button, and they can view them, they can download them. And you're not restricted to the type of files you can upload to the system. PDF, Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, JPEGs. You're not limited to the type of files that you can upload to the system. So now let's go back to the beginning and create a budget for these items, these contracts that are going to be affected. So we're going to go ahead and for the first item, we're going to go ahead and put in an amount, and it's very simple. You put in the amount that's going to be of the change, a description of that change, and you click the Add button, and you've just added a budgeted amount for that change. The second one we're going to do very much the same way, so we're not going to demonstrate that one. But the third one, we're going to assume that this is going to be work that's going to be self-performed. So we want to use some calculations from our production rates and from our unit costs to tell us what our material and labor costs should be. So we click on the Calculate button, and we've already defined an assembly or a bill of material or an assembly in this case. And so the only thing we need to do is select that assembly from the drop-down menu. You'll notice that to the right we have the items that we need to complete this work. And once we put in the quantity, the estimated labor and the estimated materials that we need are calculated for us. And we simply click on the Calculate button, and those values are entered into the system for us. Now, one of the things that we talked about earlier in the presentation was the ability to generate documents on the fly. And so we put in all the information for this change order, and here's a demonstration of what happens behind the scenes. So we put in those costs, and there's no need for us to go out and generate an additional document. Just allow the system to create that document for us. Now we've gone through the process of approving that change order that we were just working on. So now I want to show you how we're going to create a production order from that estimate that we attached to that one particular line item in the change order. So since we've already approved the change order, we're going to navigate to the Approved Change Orders page. And once the system loads the information up, we're going to go to that item that we know we made the estimate association to. And then we're going to click on the Add Production Relation button. Now from this pop-up menu, we have a number of options, but since we don't currently have any existing orders in the system, we're going to go ahead and click the new order system. the order option. Now, if you look here, this is the estimate that we had created in the previous video, and basically, only thing we need to do at this point is just generate the production order based on this estimate. And so that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to select that that button, create production order button, and it's going to ask us, are we sure we want to create that? And we're going to say yes, and it's done. It's that simple. We've already put all the information in the system. There's no need to go in and put the information again. Just confirm it that we want to create a production order, and the system does the work for us behind the scenes. Now what we want to do is take a look at how we actually schedule our labor for production for that production order that we just created. So a couple things we need to do before we get into that. First thing we need to do is release that production order. And the reason why we go through this process is that we want to give the ability to put in as many production orders as possible, but we don't want your schedule to be cluttered up with orders that you're not ready to work on. So this just confirms that you're ready to work with the order. So we click on the release button, and now we're ready to work on that. So we're going to navigate back to the main menu, and we're going to select the plan your labor activity option. And once we're here, a couple things that I want you to take note of. Since we've properly configured the production order and the assembly, the system already knows where the work should be performed and the work cell that's going to perform the work. Now, the work cell is where you assign the laborers or the employees that have the expertise to perform the work. And so basically this process guarantees that if you configure it correctly, that the right people will always be assigned to perform the work. And so let's take a look at this work cell to see who we have set up there. So the first thing we do is we select the location, and then we're going to select the actual work site where the work is going to be performed. So we have 4 people assigned to this work cell, and if you notice here, the metrics tell us that we have 34 available hours, and the available personnel that we have are 4 people, and that's just what we see. Once we assign or schedule work to this work cell, you're going to see some changes here. Right now that we have a 0 capacity, was telling us that we don't have any work scheduled to this work order or to this work cell. So let's go ahead and schedule some work. The way that we do that is we simply just click on any work order that's unscheduled, and it automatically drops that into the schedule for us. Now, if you notice, our capacity we're way over capacity, and the system is calculating that in order for us to get the work done in the allotted time that we've given, we need 40 people. We're not going to get 40 people, so we're going to chop it down to a manageable number that we can do in a day. So we're going to make an edit to that quantity that we're going to complete for today, and we're going to say that we can do 96. So we're going to save that, and now you see that it's telling us that we're at 94% capacity, and then the estimated number of people that we need to complete the work is 4. Right on the money. So what this is telling us is that we are almost at 100% capacity, and we really can't take on much more work. So let's take a look at the document that's generated that you can basically hand out to your team leader or your superintendent, so they can very accurately keep track of the productivity of the team performing the work. You have everything that you need to know here. You have the time they should start, the time they should finish, and the quantity that they should build. And by taking this approach, you can say with great certainty that if your team doesn't finish 96 units by 4 p.m., that you know that the work that they perform for that time period is not profitable. So you know that your team leader is looking for a minimum of 96 units completed by 4 o'clock. And you can hold your team accountable for the activity of that work. So now what we're going to do is quickly show you how we actually record the production for the activities that your team perform. And it's a pretty straightforward process. we're just going to navigate to the manage your production orders option, and we're simply going to just post a production. And so we're going to click on the wheels, the gears that are at the top. That's going to allow us to add production to this production order. So now one of the things I want to point out is it's very simple. We just put the quantity that we completed, the time that they complete that quantity, and we just simply click the save button. And you notice the system is keeping track of what we've completed to date, and then the actual labor expense, the labor cost and the material costs that we've occurred to date. And if you want to get a more itemized look at the activity that happened, here are all the actual items that were consumed and all of the people, the employees that actually worked on this work order. Now, the last thing I want to show you is basically how we get reporting on the efficiencies for the activities of work performed. It is a very simple process. We're going to navigate to view all production activity, and from this page we have the option of printing out and taking a look at the productivity. Now when this report comes up, again, we're seeing some of the same information about the quantity completed and the units that used. But if you look right here, we see that our efficiency is at 83%. We kind of missed the mark. 100% is what we're looking for. So 100% means that we have completed things at the production rate that we've calculated. So we know that we missed the mark on this one. And if we want to get a little more detail of who actually worked on these jobs, we have the ability to look at the personnel log and look at it on a day-by-day basis. Who worked on what time they started, what time they finished, where they performed the work, giving you the ability to get a little bit more detailed information on who did what. And this is how you're able to build your historical data so that you can have a good idea of how to estimate for future work. So I hope you can agree with us that the Cocobolo-Solution is going to streamline your business. And we do that by, again, providing one point of data entry, by centralizing your communications, by centralizing your documents, and by giving the project manager the ability to monitor their profitability on a daily basis and build historical data so that they can provide accurate estimates for future work. So if you're ready to start streamlining your business, by all means, go to our website, cocobolo-community.cloudapp.net, and at this website you can register and request for a free trial, or if you want some additional information, you can request a demo. And if there's anything in this demonstration that you have a question about, or you're unsure about, or you just want to get more information about the Cocobolo-Solution, by all means, feel free to contact us at info@cocobolo-solution.com. Again, I want to thank you for your time, and we hope and look forward to doing business with all of you in the very near future. Thank you again.